My little brother called to ask if I still had Dad's fishing rod. Dad never owned a fishing rod. That was our signal for I'm in danger. Our father was a retired homicide detective who spent 28 years watching terrible things happen to ordinary people. He never fully left that world behind, even after his first heart attack. When his second one put him in a hospital bed for the last time, he didn't spend his remaining months making peace. He spent them preparing us. He sat Jimmy and me down 3 separate times and walked us through a list of phrases. Fishing rod meant danger. Mom's pasta recipe meant I don't know where I am. The Hendersons next door meant multiple people with me. Uncle Derek's truck meant weapons. We didn't have an Uncle Derek. Dad was an only child. I was 26. Jimmy was 19. We went along with it because he was dying and we loved him. He died 11 months later. We never talked about the phrases again. Jimmy called me on a Wednesday morning at 11:47. I was at my desk. He never calls that early. Hey, he said, voice too flat. You still got Dad's fishing rod? Thinking about going out this weekend? Every hair on my body stood up. I kept my voice steady. Yeah, I think so. Where are you right now? Sarah's place. Then carefully. Actually, I was thinking about making Mom's pasta recipe tonight. Can't remember all the steps. He doesn't know where he is. I grabbed a pen, mouthed to my coworker, call 911, wrote, my brother, danger. Trace this call. She stared at me for 1 second, then picked up her phone without a word. The pasta's easy, I said. You just need to remember the order. Right. Hey, the Hendersons next door. Did they ever fix that fence out front? Multiple people. My coworker pushed her phone across the desk. 911 dispatcher on the line. Keep him talking. I don't think so, I said. Hey, where exactly were you thinking of going fishing? I haven't been out in a while. A pause. A different voice, low and close, said something I couldn't catch. Jimmy said to them, it's just my brother. Then back to me. Somewhere calm. You know that industrial stretch off Route 9? Near the old concrete plant? Drove past it once coming back from the hardware store with you. I wrote it down. Route 9. Concrete plant. Slid it to my coworker. A voice in the background. Harder now. Wrap it up. Jimmy said quickly, oh hey, whatever happened to Uncle Derek's truck? Still running? Weapons. Running fine, I said. See you tonight. Okay. Love you, man. The call ended at 11:54. Police had a location. Abandoned concrete facility off Route 9. Units were 14 minutes out. I was 10 minutes away. I didn't wait. I pulled up at 12:05. 2 vehicles behind the main structure. I sat shaking against my steering wheel until the first cruiser arrived at 12:09. 3 more followed. An officer walked to my window and told me to stay in the car. I told him my brother said they were armed. His expression shifted. He radioed it and drew his weapon without another word. The entry took 8 minutes. I heard shouting, then 1 shot. Jimmy walked out at 12:22. He had dried blood above his left eye and his hands wouldn't stop shaking, but he was walking. When he reached me, he didn't say anything. He just dropped his forehead against my shoulder and stood there. 3 men in custody. 1 treated on scene for a gunshot wound to the leg. Jimmy told me later they'd cornered him in a parking garage, forced him into a car over someone else's debt. They'd had his phone the entire time. He convinced them that 1 check-in call would keep things quiet. They believed him because he stayed calm. When he heard my voice, he said he just started reciting the phrases in order. He wasn't sure I'd remember them. Our father died believing he'd spent his last coherent months preparing his sons for something that would never happen. He wasn't wrong to prepare us. He was only wrong about that.